This is game one of the Great Lakes Regional. It pits Illinois and Michigan State champions against each other. Game 3 of 4 today here in the beautiful Hamilton County complex known as Grand Park. 6 teams in the Great Lakes region trying to qualify to be amongst the 4 that will move from double elimination to single elimination. That will be on Thursday. Later tonight, the champions of the state of Kentucky and Indiana will play 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Greetings, everyone. Jim Barber and John Gregory. Illinois has had the most unusual opportunity, John, of being able to scout its opponent by way of Facebook and also YouTube. So they've observed that Michigan can hit the heck out of the ball. How does Illinois counter?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing to have that scouting report, but really you get to this point by doing what you do well, and that's pitching and defense, and this team has done that. They face some good pitchers in the state tournament as far as hitting goes, so they really feel like they can score some runs, although they have not showed that typically yet.
Hoping to wait deep in the count to get some men aboard to make something happen. Now, as for some of the rules and some of the things that you should be concerned with, this is a modified double elimination. The winner of this game will play tomorrow. The loser comes back on Tuesday. In essence, we're playing games to eliminate 2 teams where we go from 6 to 4. Competition, a single elimination on Thursday. And John, again, the age of 13 becomes obsolete after this year. You think it's a good rule to keep 13-year-olds out?
Yeah, I think it's a good rule, especially when you talk about the bat changing and everything, too. They're really trying to make things to, protect the kids that may be a little bit smaller and all that. So I think it's a really good rule, and we've seen it's taken, the bat change has taken away some of the long balls, some of the balls that are hit a little bit harder. So I think it's all about protection and a good rule.
We'll talk more in depth about that bat change when we come back. Set for baseball, game 3 this afternoon and this evening between Michigan and Illinois, live from Westfield. Right-handed pitcher Ryan Knable of Michigan, John, is a hard thrower, can get it cranked up to the low 70 mile per hour.
Yeah, you can see his size, 5'7", 135, but talking with their coach before, he's got a really good hard fastball. You mentioned touching 70 there, but a really good off-speed pitch to go with it too. And up and down this lineup is what we'll see from this pitching staff. There's a lot of guys that throw hard on it. They all have some good off-speed stuff, but he's going to start it off for them today.
He'll face the center fielder Shane Young, who will lead off for Tri-Cities. Then Gavin Duran will bat second. Paulie Rudolph, the right fielder, is third. Dominic Kustra, the first baseman, the left-handed swinger, is fourth. A lot of left-handers in the lineup. Nathan Garrettson fifth. Then Cameron King, Gage Martin, Caden Wagonar, and Michael Bubala. So Illinois is going to try to wait out some counts if possible. But facing a fastball thrower that appears like he'll work from the stretch. We saw Mason Hoheisel, all 6'2" of him, fire in the 70s, and he was unhittable in game 1 today.
Sure was, and you know, it's interesting talking with his coaches before the ball game, and you know, their potential at the state. Sometimes teams get shut down in the state and really don't score or produce the runs that they normally do. It's because, you know, they're the best teams. They're going to face the best pitching.
Shaner, by the way, is considered to be the most inquisitive on this Illinois staff, so if you talk to him, be ready to answer questions. Does a nice job of fouling off that pitch to remain alive at 1-2. Earlier today, Minnesota 4, Missouri nothing in the Midwest Regional, and North Dakota 15, Nebraska 1. Gavin Duran would be next. Two balls, two strikes. Temperature near 90. Has been almost all late afternoon. One out.
Well, and like we saw earlier today, guys that are throwing up there in the 70s, low 70s, going to get a lot of strikeouts. And what makes Knable a little bit more difficult to hit as a right-handed hitter, too, is the way he throws across his body. You can see his plant foot lands toward the third base side. It's a little bit more difficult on the right-handed hitters.
Matt Bubala is the manager of this team. He'll be in the dugout. Gil Duran is the third base coach. Sean Kustra is heading up the bases at first. Count even on Duran. He'll be followed by Paulie Rudolph, and if necessary, Dominic Kustra in the first. Well, if you listen closely, you can hear a lot of chatter, particularly for the team that's at bat. Three balls, two strikes. Well, we saw a lot of left-handed swingers in the previous game, John.
Yeah, quite a bit. 5 for top of the lineup against right-handed pitching. Both North Dakota, we're talking Midwest region. North Dakota loaded with some players that look very talented. If you're one of those fans that just like watching Little League baseball and you're going to watch the Midwest along with the Great Lakes region, that was some fun baseball earlier. North Dakota scoring a lot of runs, 15 runs in that ball game after a low-scoring game the first game.
Good at bat for Gavin Duran. He's on board with one out in the first. Brings up the right fielder, Paulie Rudolph.
Now batting for Illinois, number 15, the right fielder, Paulie Rudolph.
By the way, Paulie, for good luck, wears a cowboy hat to the game. His nickname is Yo Paulie. Likely a fan of one of the Rocky movies and has probably heard it more times than he'd prefer to admit. Ryan Knable has thrown 15 pitches in the first inning so far. Do you notice anything, John?
Well, you know, sometimes as we talked in the early games today, we didn't really see that the first time. You try to overthrow a little bit early in a ball game. You get here for the first time and you know, you're a guy that can throw in the low 70s. You want to try to get it up there as hard as you can. And most important thing is getting it across the plate.
Off the wild pitch, Gavin Duran is in the scoring position.
Because that's the reason right there. You just don't want to put guys in scoring position. When we saw earlier 15 strikeouts in the ball game, the way he did that is he went almost a complete game through his 85th pitch with one batter to go in that game, and Hoheisel did a tremendous job in striking out 15. He didn't walk anybody.
Manager Kurt Barr is out to talk to his pitcher. Kurt, by the way, is a Dairy Queen franchisee, so you and I should make the extra effort to know him well.
Yes.
3 balls, no strikes on Paulie Rudolph. Dominic Kustra with back cleanup and next. Back-to-back walks. Well, what did manager Matt Bubala of Illinois tell us? We're going to wait him out. We can't match him.
Nope.
Power for power, so we got to beat him another way.
And the one good thing about that, when you're an offensive team and you wait him out, you're going to get that pitch count up for a team that usually is going to throw their number 1 guy in this situation. So want to get that pitch count up there as quick as you can. And you have to understand that if you're on the mound, that these guys are going to take a lot of pitches here and force you to throw strikes.
Indiana, Kentucky after this one tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. 2 aboard with 1 out. Now the count reaches 2-0. Now you're aware that the starting pitcher has been outside the zone. You take a pitch here or assume this is a hitter's pitch?
No, I still think you're taking it, and that's part of what the book on them right now. If they didn't tell us that that's what their game plan was, I think you make him find the zone now. He's struggling to try to find it, so you're going to force him to continue to do that. You don't want to hit into a lazy ground ball double play here.
Ryan Knable pitch away from loading the bases on walks. Can he find the strike zone? They're loaded. Well, North Dakota in its 15-1 win earlier today was a recipient of 9 walks in less than 4 innings and capitalized on many. So right now, Jake Guyan will bat for Nathan Gerritsen with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Pinch hitting for Illinois, number 49, Jake Guyan.
Ryan Knable's had a little bit of time to try to figure it all out. Can he do it? Double play still gets him out of the inning unscathed. After striking out Shane Young, he has delivered consecutive walks to Gavin Duran, Paulie Rudolph, and Dominic Kustra. Illinois, by the way, spent a lot of time in the hotel watching Game 1 today on ESPN+.
It doesn't surprise me that Jake Guyan up at the plate here, they talk about his ability as just a pure hitter up there, and this is a situation they like him in. They say he kind of likes this moment. And early in this ball game, top of the first, it's a kind of a big moment for them.
Being a pure hitter, they say the ball just jumps off his bat. But he's behind, 0-2.
That's the first breaking ball I think I've seen out of Knable right there. Maybe that's the pitch he has to go to right now, because the fastball he hasn't been able to locate.
Gavin Duran running at third, Paulie Rudolph second, Dominic Kustra at first. Big time strikeout for Ryan Knable. There are 2 outs.
Nowhere to put anybody, so he goes to the breaking ball, then he comes back with the fastball inside and sets him down and gets that all-important second out.
Now Cameron King. And you might say that Grosse Pointe Woods Shores is not out of the woods yet. Well, I might say it, you wouldn't say it, but a ball on Cameron King with the bases loaded. 1-1. C.J. King, Cameron Jack King, who turned 13 on June 26th.
Well, I like when he went back to that breaking ball. It kind of slowed him down a little bit, because you won't try to typically overthrow that breaking ball, and that worked well for him. Let's see if he goes back to it.
Count even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes with the bases loaded here in the top of the first.
Went fastball that time, up in the zone again. May have got some help by King taking a swing at that.
Strike 3 called. Ryan Knable strikes out the side after walking 3 in a row. What a most interesting first inning he had. Michigan works out of trouble. Now will come to the plate for the first time. In our first game today, Mason Hoheisel was 6'2". Caden Wagoner's about a foot plus shorter at 4'10", 80 pounds, age 12. And what's he bring up there, John?
You just saw him indicate he wanted to throw a breaking ball there. They said he's got some good pop for his size, but his plus pitch is that breaking ball, and it's all about location for him.
Beats people with his off speed, and he'll face a hard-hitting Michigan lineup. At the top is Reggie Sharp, then Jaron Purify, Oliver Service, Ryan Knable, Brennan Hill, Preston Barr, Cameron Schaefer, Elliot Niederhood, Jake Martin. Kurt Barr is the third base coach for the Michigan All-Stars. The doctor, physician Reggie Sharp at first, and in the dugout, Melissa Henderson. And Melissa and Kurt have worked together the last 5 years in Michigan Little League. Toward left center field, hit deep. Gone! How about that? Reggie Sharp gets Michigan start off in a big way. And in Little League, they all celebrate a home run like it's a walk-off.
And they should. We mentioned they changed the bats this year to take some of the liveliness out of it, but 225 feet all around this ballpark. That ball was inside. It looked like he pulled his hands in and just delivered that over the left center field wall as that ball continued to carry. Not easy to get it out of here either. That wind's blowing directly in from that location.
And this one spanked toward right center field by Jaron Purify. It's up against the fence. He's got two bases. He'll try for a triple. Here's the throw, and he is safe. Michigan, those hard-hitting bats, is open with a home run and a triple. Well, this is Matt Bubala's worst concerns and worst fears, that the Michigan team would come out and just be rocking.
Well, we mentioned they had a scouting report on them, but as I said before, you can look all you want at a scouting report, but you got to be able to get guys out. Right now, it's a great start for this Michigan team, and you could see the speed by Purify as he's able to get to third base, and he even held up at second before he was waved on to come on to third.
Third batter in the Michigan lineup is Oliver Service, the center fielder. He's had to duck on the first two pitches. Oliver, by the way, his uncle Jay Moss, you may remember that name, gospel singer and a previous Grammy winner. You have to take a look at the defense right now for Illinois. Nathan Garrettson, Shane Young, and Paulie Rudolph in the outfield. And look, John, how deep they are.
Yeah, they are way back. I don't know if you need to be that far. You got to have some room to go back, but anything in front of those guys is going to fall in. So if you're sitting in that third base dugout right now, or you're a runner on base, you have to know where those outfielders are located at all times, because you can get a good jump off the bat if you feel like it's kind of going to fall in somewhere. So that's a good look at that outfield, how deep they're playing. Take advantage of it if you're a base runner.
Runners now in the corners with nobody out for Michigan. Here's Ryan Knable, who wears the number 0. Michigan threatening for a big inning here in the first. What a thrill it must have been for first base coach Reggie Sharp to be able to high-five his son after he circled the bases with a home run. Good breaker there. No balls, 2 strikes. Michigan has come out swinging. Towards second base, will score a run. They'll get a force out, and that's all they get. First out of the inning, produces the second run on the RBI force out from the bat of Ryan Knable as Jaron Purify scores to make it 2-0.
And most importantly, they got that first out of the inning. Although that run comes across the board, they're playing back, making sure you get at least one. Get that runner on first base and just slow things down a bit.
This is B. Hill, and he cracks this one. It is long, it is deep, it is gone. This offense is scary. Wow. Four, 0 Michigan.
Well, when you have a lot of power, you can stand there a little bit and admire it. Doesn't do it too long. Not a big bat flip, but he knew when he made contact with that thing was out of this ballpark. Keep in mind, this ballpark's 225 too. Some of these little leagues have been playing at 200 all year, but this is a team that outscored everybody in pool play 43-6 in the Michigan State tournament. So this is a team that can really put some runs on the board, and they're showing that with the power early.
So manager Matt Bubala, what might he have said to Caden Wagoner in terms of his pitch selection at this point? He's only thrown 10 at this juncture.
Yeah, I don't know so much if it's pitch selection or just the fact that sometimes, you know, guys come out hot, and it's a great start for this Michigan team. The good thing is now let's start over. Everybody's off the bases. You know, we've got one out, and let's bear down from here.
Preston Barr batting in the 6th position is the shortstop. He'll be 13 next week. His dream is to play for the Toronto Blue Jays. Grosse, Pointe, Woods, Shore has yet another base runner as Barr reaches. Still one out in the first. Cameron Schaefer, the first baseman, and the 7th batter in the inning for Michigan at the plate.
First baseman Cameron Schaefer.
So in this inning, 2 long balls, 2 home runs, and a triple. That one bounces in, gets away, runner on to second base.
For an early look on this at this Michigan team, you see power, you saw the speed they have. If they've got the arms on the mound, this could be a team that could find their way. And I know it's early and we haven't had a chance to see other teams from this region, but just for them to get here, we know what it's like to try to get through their districts and their state tournament.
4 runs already in the first on the off speed. Cameron Schaefer remains alive. Elliot Niederhood would bat next, then Jake Martin if they're able to go through the entire roster in the bottom of the first. Important strikeout there. There are 2 outs. And I go back to the first inning, the top of the first. Illinois had the bases loaded with 1 out. So if you're going to get in a game where you got to produce a lot of runs with Michigan, that was a good scoring opportunity.
Yep.
Elliot Niederhood.
You got to get them early if you're going to get them. Sometimes you miss those opportunities, then it's going to cost you down the road.
Checked his swing. Down a strike. Runner at second base with 2 outs. In this inning, Reggie Sharp, a solo home run. Brennan Hill, a 2-run home run. And Ryan Knable, a ground out to produce the 4 runs. Throw down to third base is not in time. Matthew Bubala, the catcher, thought he might have got it. Michael Bubala. But sliding into third is Preston Barr. Ball with 2 strikes, so 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Sometimes that fastball up high on a 2-strike count is very tempting.
Yes, we've seen that throughout today. Something around the letters you'll chase and normally going to miss it.
Going the opposite way and foul. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts for Caden Wagoner. But Reggie Sharp and teammate Brennan Hill go deep in the first inning. And Michigan has logged a 4-0 lead. Bottom of the Illinois order, 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the second. Good look at Michigan third baseman Jaron Purify, who had a triple in Michigan's half of the first and eventually scored. And you were talking off camera, John, about the speed of Purify.
Yeah, he was the guy that legged out that triple, almost stopped at second base and then started again. And he was thinking 3 right off the bat, so pretty athletic there, that third base bag.
Well, let's see how Ryan Knable does on the mound here in the second after he struck out the side and walked 3 in the first. He'll face Gage Martin, the 7th hitter in the Illinois lineup, followed by Caden Wagoner and Michael Bubala. I think Illinois was a hit away from busting out in this game in the top of the first. This is Gage O'Matic at the plate. I think part of the fun of preparing for these games is just looking at the listing of the nicknames by these kids. One hop towards second base. Reggie Sharp, 1 out. Here's the pitcher, Caden Wagoner.
Now, one thing you see on the mound now, Knable, after the runs support he gets in that first inning with 4 runs out there, a chance for his coaches to sit down and talk with him in the dugout and kind of calm him down a little bit there and say, hey, no need to overthrow. We've got 4 on the board here. Let's throw strikes and get as many innings as we can out of you.
The first inning was shaky, and he has thrown a lot of pitches, but hasn't been touched yet. Two strikes, no balls. The number 9 hitter, Michael Bubala, the catcher, will bat next.
Boy, for that right-handed hitter, you saw the ball right in there. Knable can really throw it. I mean, he lets it go in there 72 miles an hour, 73.
Let it rip there. His 4th strikeout of the game, 2 outs. Top of the second for Michael Bubala.
See if he does something different here. I'm not sure this wasn't a breaking ball. Tough to see the catcher, but outside location there. he busts him inside with that fastball, with that crossover. Boy, he really steps toward the third base bag, and that it can scare you as a right-handed hitter, and then he comes back and works that outside corner. If he can locate there, he's going to have a lot of success.
He'll face a pinch hitter in Jack Shane, replacing Michael Bubala. Michael likely to remain in the game as the catcher, particularly because his dad says he's very friendly with the umpires, and I like that. Always important to have a good rapport with them.
Oh, yeah.
They said that was one of Derek Jeter's major assets. Just come in, be very friendly, then crank out a run-scoring double and be on his way.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. 2 balls, no strikes, and the number 9 hitter in the Illinois lineup in the second. Shane Young, the center fielder, would bat for the second time next. Temperature still hovering around the high 80s at 87 degrees. May touch the 90s before the day is over. Base hit right field. So pinch hitter Shane is on base with 2 outs here in the Illinois second for Shane Young.
Shane delivers this into right field. Schaefer with an excellent effort there. Good size down the first base bag. He extends with that first baseman's mitt. He just kind of tips it off into right field. No chance to get it, but not because he didn't give it a great effort.
John Michael Bubala becomes the pinch runner at first base. So here's Shane Young, who struck out to lead off the Illinois first. And he got hit. So after 2 outs, 2 on now for Illinois. And yet another scoring opportunity for the Tri-Cities Little League team. Tri-Cities is made up of West Dundee, East Dundee, Sleepy Hollow, and as manager Matt Bubala told us, several other cities as well. Think of us like the Big Ten.
That's right.
Have a little bit more than the number that's advertised, namely try.
Yep.
3.
Plus minus.
Yes. Spanked toward right field and fouled into the pitching area down there, the bullpen. Jim Barber and John Gregory are most active inning and a half so far between Illinois and Michigan. Illinois had the bases loaded in the first, failed to score. Michigan hit 2 home runs in the first, got 4 runs. And here in the second, Illinois has 2 aboard with 2 outs. And Gavin Duran is in the hole.
And you got to be careful with Duran. He's a guy that'll surprise you with the pop that he has. He'll surprise people on the other side when he hits home runs.
And a couple of big home runs in their run here to Indianapolis. His coach says he's small but mighty. He came 13 years of age on June 24. Good save by Jake Martin behind home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A lot of pitches for Ryan Knable in the first inning, 2/3. He's up to 45 now with this pitch. But he gets out of trouble again. And he does it with a strikeout again. Illinois has left 5. Michigan starts with catcher Jake Martin, then back to the top of its batting order.
The second for Illinois, no run, 1 hit, 2 runs. That's a lot. left the game. He's replaced by 00 Ozzy Zaja, who's now playing left field. Moving from left field over to right, number 4, Nathan Garrison. And moving from right field to the mound, number
Back
15,
to the late 30s and 40s. The way the field looked back then, the stands filled with a lot of people dressed in shirt and tie.
Leading off the bottom of the second for Michigan.
Wonderful history in the Williamsport, Pennsylvania area. Of course, the finals conclude there once again. Will Michigan be sending back another team from the Grosse Pointe area? Had a representative last year. Jake Martin leading off for Michigan as we start the bottom of the second. Paulie Rudolph now the new pitcher for Illinois. Well, we saw in our previous game that Nebraska had to dig deep into its bullpen and early, having to use 5 pitchers in the 15-1 loss to North Dakota. Michigan already has had to go to Paulie Rudolph. Toward third base, Cameron King, 1 out. Jake Martin retired. Back to the top of the order, and Reggie Sharp, who cranked one to left field to put Michigan ahead 1-0 in the previous inning.
Good start for Tri-Cities here. Try to get out of this inning in a hurry, get back in the dugout. Won't let them add any more runs to this right now.
His dad, Reggie Sharp, is the first base coach. Again, he's a doctor in his full life practice. He was telling us before the game, as we asked him, hey, are you on duty? He said, well, not really, but if anybody gets in a jam, particularly if they have a peanut allergy difficulty, I know exactly what I need to do to help out immediately. So that's a good thing to know.
Got to be proud to see your son hit one out.
Tried to hit one out there, but retired on strikes. Went for the high fastball. 2 outs in the second, and Paulie Rudolph has knocked down the first 2 he has faced.
Yep, and seeing Rudolph on the mound there, I think his job is really to kind of settle this team down. As you see the swing and a miss on the breaking ball there, and that was a nice-looking deuce.
Jerem Purify now to the plate. Had a triple and scored a run. Paulie Rudolph is considered, as we talked to Melissa Henderson, one of the coaches, to be their hardest thrower, but it's typically his off-speed stuff that gets people out. And he's a strikeout away from retiring the side in order. Michigan 4, Illinois 0. Tonight at 8 Eastern, the state champions of Indiana and Kentucky, continuing along in the Great Lakes region. Whoa, nice stab there by manager Kurt Barr. And he's letting everybody in the stands know about it.
Yeah, guys in the dugout, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Spanked to left field. They're again playing these hitters deep, and off the fumble, Purify around second base. He's going to try for 3. Got exceptional speed.
Yeah, you cannot hesitate with him. That time out in left field, if you get it and you bobble it at all, you better throw it in advance. You throw behind him, he's going to go. Out of the box, he's taken off. He's thinking 2 right away, and because he bobbles it, now he starts thinking 3. He doesn't hesitate as much this time, although there was a slight hesitation. He still makes it to third easily.
So he's at third base for Oliver Service with 2 outs. Single and an error scored on the play. It is fun just to watch Purify run the bases. First of all, he's got a great bat. He's got a good baseball IQ, recognizes the situation, and keeps going. Still, Paulie Rudolph gets out of the jam by striking out 2. And after 2, it remains Michigan 4, Illinois 0. And Mr. Rudolph is set to lead off the top of the third for Tri-Cities. With John Gregory, Jim Barber, game 3 of our quadruple header today. 2 in the Midwest region earlier today, now 2 the afternoon and evening in the Great Lakes. Both the Midwest and Great Lakes will send a champion to Williamsport. Paulie Rudolph, who walked back in the first, leads off the third for Illinois. And he's headed to first base, hit by a pitch. Second time today, and as pitcher Ryan Knable's hit a batter. Dominic Kustra now will bat.
#1, Dominic Kustra.
What's going on out there, John?
Find a ball, get a ball. Looks like maybe a home run ball that was in between the fence out there, is that? And they're going after it?
Well, no, the rule is you have to return it.
No,
unless nobody sees it, but the problem now is they're on national television.
Now they got to work it up all the way over the top of the fence.
So everybody has seen it.
I think I'd dig a little deeper and maybe go underneath.
Hey, those souvenirs, they're priceless.
That's one you get up just about to the top, and do you drop it? What happens if he drops this? Has to start over.
It's like one of those little 50-cent coin games you have in a supermarket, you know, where you're trying to position the stuffed animal.
He's almost there. Don't drop it. Now they need somebody taller. There it is.
Beautiful. And soon we'll hear over the public address, please return all souvenirs. Now, how do you get the rest of that out of there?
No.
By the way, that's not on the playing field, in case you're wondering.
Yep.
Good swing by Dominic Kustra, who walked back in the first. Count full with a man on first, nobody out. Illinois again with plenty of base runners, first and second, nobody out here in the third. So conversation as manager Kurt Barr comes out.
Yep, they're going to make a change because he's at that point now where he's going to have to sit for 2 days. They don't want to make it 3. He's just over 50 pitches, so he's going to make the change, it looks like to me, and maybe bring somebody else in here.
Looking like Brennan Hill might be the new pitcher. Could also get it cranked up to the 70s.
See those numbers there. Once you reach that 50 pitch mark, you can finish the batter, but if you want to be able to throw after 2 days rest, you need to get out, and that's what they did, going with the lefty.
And that left-hander for Michigan is Brennan Hill. Brother Tyler played in the Little League World Series in 2013. His brother Drew last year, and he can crank it at 70 miles or better as well.
Yep, now we're getting a look at a lefty that can do the same thing. Throw it in the low 70s up there, gives you a different look, and boy, it's nice to have that. If you got a righty throwing 70 and a lefty throwing 70, and you got the type of athletes playing defense for you, that's a pretty good combination.
And Illinois now, John, has had 7 base runners in this game in just 2 innings. Nobody out here in the third. Got 3 on board on walks in the first, a hit batsman and a hit in the second. Hit batsman and a walk here in the third. So Matt Bubala's team is getting some scoring chances. Can it capitalize?
Michigan, after throwing 53 pitches with a threshold count of 50, number 0, Ryan Knable, now playing center field. Taking over on the mound, number 11, Brennan Hill. Moving to left field, 13, Oliver Service. And moving over to right field, number 8, Elliot Niederhood.
Elliot Niederhood will switch from left to right. Ryan Knable now becomes the center fielder.
For Illinois, number 30, Bradley Lude.
Bradley Lude becomes one of the base runners right now. Lots of
And the
substitutes.
Illinois batter is the right fielder, number 4, Nathan Garrettson.
And this is Nathan Garrettson now at the plate. 2 on, nobody out. A ball and 2 strikes on Nathan Garrettson.
13. First at bat,
And that is bunted foul. That will be a strikeout. Check that, count was 1-1, so that's 1-2.
Now trying to get a guy over there, get him in scoring, get two runners in scoring position, try to cut this lead in half. I like the play. We talked to them about it. They said they can hit the long ball, but they'll find a way to manufacture runs.
Not bunting there. Able to lay off, so they check down to third base umpire Andrew Kelly. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nathan Gerritsen with nobody out here in the third. And it remains 2-2. Changes in the Michigan outfield. We'll give them to you here in a second. Oliver's service in left. Center fielder is Ryan Knebel. They have mentioned that already. And the right fielder is Elliot Niederhood. Brennan Hill in relief. Trying to work out of yet another Michigan jam. The pitch. Ooh, Gerritsen was tempted. And instead, Illinois got the bases loaded with nobody out. It's exactly what Matt Bubala, the manager, told us they were going to try to do, which was wait on the count, get base runners on, move people around. 8th base runner of the game, just one by hit. Cameron King now the bases loaded. Now it's up to Tri-Cities to try to capitalize.
Got to find a way to get the ball in play if, in fact, he can get it over the plate and give you that opportunity.
Plenty of sunshine descending on this Hamilton County field in Westfield, Indiana. Little League World Series opening round, the Great Lakes Regional. And another big moment for Illinois hitters with the bases loaded and nobody out. Up the middle, there's that big hit John mentioned. One is in, and now one of the runners is hung up and is going to be tagged out. Looked as if Illinois was tempted to send another runner, and because on that situation, after Paulie Rudolph had scored, that Dominic Kustra held up, that put Nathan Gerritsen in a tough spot, and he was tagged out at second.
Yeah, he was stuck with nowhere to go, had to hold up, and how about the play by Knebel center field? He comes in from center field and makes the tag at second base. That's pretty heads up defense.
Still a chance, John, for Illinois to add another run or two as Gage Martin is the plate. Grounded out second base in the second. It is now 4-1 Michigan. Well, when his manager describes him, his first words are, despite being a St. Louis Cardinal fan. Matt works for WGN Radio. He's obviously a big-time Cubs fan. So it's a nice way to qualify. It's kind of a backhanded compliment, don't you think?
I think.
The Cubs-Cardinals rivalry is felt everywhere.
Yes, it is. And anytime you get you can get a little dig in, you got to take advantage of that.
It's in the blood, isn't it? Don't you think? 3 balls, no strikes. And the bases are loaded. Another walk distributed by Michigan pitchers, and for the game now that is 6.
For Illinois, the left fielder, 00, Ozzie Zaja.
Ozzie Zaja now will bat in the 8th spot with the bases loaded. Nathan Gerritsen is the base runner at third. Cameron King had an RBI singles at second. Gage Martin, the base runner at first. Illinois about ready to turn over the lineup again, and we're just in the third.
Yeah, the outfield for Michigan all playing really close in, expecting nothing to be hit over the top of their heads. So anything short as a base runner here, you got to be aware where those defenders are out there in the outfield.
Both Ryan Knebel, John, and Brennan Hill having trouble finding a strike zone for Michigan. That's a good pitch there. 2 balls and a strike. Toward right field, base hit, going the opposite way. One is home. They'll hold up the runners on station-to-station baseball. I heard a fan or a coach holler out, "You want right field."
Yes.
And he got it to right field.
I was going to say the same thing. I imagine that's his dad in the stands possibly, or somebody that said,
good coaching.
Hit it to right, and that's exactly what he did. Got the pitch outside. Boy, that was up around his eyeballs, and he's able to get on top of it, tomahawk it out to right field, and pick up another key run.
Manager Kurt Barr again making the walk to the mound. It's probably been more times there to the mound than he would prefer. And will make yet another pitching change. Michigan's second change for its third pitcher, I believe. Here just in the third inning. Let's take a break as Illinois now has played at 2 and is threatening to get closer.
Who's in Knables and
Cameron Schaefer wants to be a sports broadcaster down the line. Right now, he'd just like to put out the fire. Turned 13 on Saturday, yesterday, and he's in a spot.
Number 9, Cameron Schaefer.
He inherits a bases-loaded situation with 1 out in the Illinois third. 2 runs already in. And Michael Bubala at the plate.
For Illinois, the catcher, number 14, Michael Bubala.
Big spot for the manager's son here. Strike 1. Uses eating mini chocolate donuts part of the game as good luck, John. It's my kind of guy. Waving the bat, pitch over his head, a ball and a strike.
Schaefer will give you a little different look on the mound, as we've seen from the first 2 pitchers from this Michigan team, in that he's not going to throw at 75 up there. He's going to take something off of it and throw strikes, and he's a guy that they can trust out there. They like because of his mentality, not going to get up, 2 down. So this is a big situation here for him to step into.
Took something off on the previous pitch and gets the strikeout he needs.
Breaking ball. That was a big sweep in breaking ball. Sometimes you see the one that goes from 12 o'clock to 6. That's not the case there. That was a sweeping breaking ball.
Think about this inning. Illinois really should have just 1 out, but the runners got hung up between second and third.
Yep. There was a walk after that too, so that would have scored another run.
Cameron Schaefer now in relief with the ball and a strike. Shane Young in the game, 0 for 1, got hit by a pitch. Good off speed there, a ball and 2 strikes. So now if you're Shane Young at the plate, what are you waiting on?
Really nothing. You've got to be aggressive here.
And swung at a pitch outside the zone, and Cameron Schaefer gets back-to-back strikeouts in relief. But in the inning, some RBI hits of significance. One by Cameron King, the other by Ozzie Zaja. Plenty of hats, sunglasses, tanning lotion today. Grosse Pointe Woods Shores, regional champions of the Great Lakes last year here in Hamilton County. Trying to become the first repeat champion since Bowling Green Eastern Little League of Kentucky did it just a couple of years previous.
Center fielder, number 0, Ryan Knable.
Ryan Knable started the game for Michigan. Now he's the center fielder, and he's at the plate in the bottom of the third. 4-2 Michigan for Michigan in the first, 2 for Illinois in the third, and this one headed to center field, a base hit. And because outfielders are playing so deep in this game, another opportunity to move a runner from first all the way to third. Ryan Knable starts off with a hit, winds up at third base.
Boy, you mentioned it. Outfielders playing deep, but the other thing is watch him out of the box here. He knows he's thinking 2 right now, and clearly this is a double, and he's going to take advantage of it and go to third. So Mr. Sharp down there at first base, Reggie Sharp, first base coach, is just automatically sending these guys with speed. He's just like, go.
Yeah, those guys aren't sticking around, are they? So now if you're the Illinois defense, you're going to pull people in a little bit?
I think you have to. I mean, a few feet from the wall is not going to do you a whole bit of good out there as far as going back and getting anything, but you got to be able to cut the ball off. But I'll tell you, you do that, then it takes away balls that are hit hard into gaps.
On a double by Ryan Knable, he gets to third base on an error. Brennan Hill, who homered with a man on in the first. And a powerful cut there as the count goes to 3-1. He had the green light on 3-0, and this is a look at the one he cranked to right center field in the first, and he knew it was gone.
Yep, he got a breaking ball up that just hung up there, and he delivered it out there and really turned on it.
This one toward left center field, playable, and it's going to plate the fourth run of the game and a sacrifice fly by Brennan Hill as Ryan Knable comes home to score. So 3 RBIs in the game for Brennan Hill, and Michigan now leads 5-2.
Get a pitch that you can elevate with a runner on third base, and he does it. Picks up another important run, and you just wonder how many runs you're going to have to put on board. This is one of those type of games that's going to seems like go back and forth. Guys are going to score runs, so you got to keep putting them on the board while you can.
Well, Michigan's pitching has been its own worst enemy by a slew of walks it's yielded. Towards second base, nice stop. High throw though, as Gage Martin's throw goes over the head of the first baseman, and on the second base is Preston Barr. See how they scored. There'll at least be an error on the throw.
Yep, Martin was doing a nice job here, knocking the ball down, getting in front of it, getting that glove down on the backside, but the second part of it, making an accurate throw over the first. He never got his balance, it seemed like, kind of tripped up a bit.
Pinch hitting for Michigan, number 4, Marwin Matthews.
Marwin Matthews is the pinch hitter. Headed down the right field line and foul. Towards second base, runner will move to third. 2 outs. Elliot Niederhood, the left fielder, is the scheduled hitter. And actually, Niederhood has moved over to right field. He started in left. Changes for Michigan while we have a break in the action.
Pinch hitting for Michigan, number 10, Chase Mazie.
And Chase Mazie will have a chance to hit here. I've heard this from major leaguers. After you score a couple in the inning, you don't want to have what they call a give-back inning.
That's right. Yep.
And Illinois has given back one of the two it got in the third.
Yeah, you want that shutdown inning right after you're able to put some runs on the board.
By the way, John, Illinois has left 8 on base. The maximum is 9. They're in the top of their lineup for the 3rd time today. Inning over. And with that top of the lineup, it'll be Gavin Durand, the number 2 hitter, then Paulie Rudolph, and Dominic Kustra. After 3, it's Michigan 5, Illinois 2 in the Great Lakes Regional. What did Preston... I got it. Want to play Little League in your local community? Visit playlittleleague.org. Enter your address to find a Little League program near you. Lots of base runners in this game so far. Michigan leading 5-2 as we start the 4th.
For Illinois, the shortstop, number 2, Gavin Durand.
Shortstop Gavin Durand set the lead off. Walk, stole a base in the first, struck out in the second. This is the type of game, John, that if Illinois was to lose it, it will look back on the first 3 innings and say, wow, we got people on base, we just couldn't move them home.
No, you mentioned it, 8 runners left on base so far for them. And it's easy to look back and say, boy, could we get them in somehow, some way, but for Michigan, they've been able to do what they can late in innings or when those bases have been loaded to get out, find a way to get out.
In the Illinois first, bases loaded, 1 out, failed to score, and a couple of strikeouts after that. Runners at first and second in the second. That ended on a strikeout as well. Well, Cameron Schaefer could have taken that unassisted.
Yeah, and I think Brendan Hill down at first base may be thinking the same. Look, he's describing it for him right now, saying,
hey, look, I don't feel bad if you handle it yourself.
Yeah, go ahead, take it. That's that communication. So difficult. Big leaguers have a difficult time. And that's why they work on it so much during spring training. You know, communication, got to get over to first base. Who takes it? I got it. You take it. It's tough.
1 out in the 4th for Paulie Rudolph, who has walked, hit by a pitch, and has scored a run. That off-speed breaker has been hard to handle.
Sure has. That's that big sweeper that you see. He really kind of drops down a bit. That ball comes out of the side of his hand.
Dominic Kustra, the first baseman, set to hit next. Paulie Rudolph out on strikes, 2 outs.
Staying with the breaking ball that time. That one was up a little bit. Thought it was out of the zone. But anytime you have 2 strikes on it, the ball seemed to be up a little bit, surprised him, but got the strikeout.
First baseman Dominic Kustra walked twice and got hung up between second and third and was tagged out in the third inning. Illinois has had at least 2 runners on in every inning, right now up and down with its first 2 batters to start the fourth. This is double elimination modified. 6 teams in the Great Lakes. 4 will remain after Wednesday's action. And on Thursday starts single elimination for a trip to Williamsport. Well, that's an example of wasting a pitch there.
I don't know if you want to waste any with a pitch count.
Probably not. And it was a 1-2 pitch as well. So. And another one far out of the zone, 3-2.
Because at Little League, that's what happens. You know, I guess if you've got that good a control, but I know what you mean. It's a good thought to do it.
These Little League All-Stars from Michigan were down to 2 outs in the 6th inning of a previous game. Came through, and they're coming through now. For the first time, Illinois retired in order. 2 strikeouts for Cameron Schaefer in the 4th inning. It's the bottom of the Michigan order, then back to the top when we come back.
Evans hitting.
J.J. Sheck.
Yep.
Chris Bryant, who plays and stars for the Chicago Cubs, has been injured lately, but his Little League days were pretty special in Las Vegas, Nevada. Looks quite youthful in that picture back there on the left-hand side of your screen. His Cubs are in a 5-5 game with the Padres today, trying to win 3 out of 4 from San Diego. Illinois Little League stars, part of the Tri-Cities. West Dundee, Illinois, population 7,350, 40 miles north west of Chicago. J.J. Sheck at the plate. He is thrown out third to first, 1 out in the Michigan 4th.
Said he looks youthful. Still does.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
He'll probably look 20-some the rest of his life.
Yeah. And why not when you're having that kind of fun? You know, it's keep you young.
Lots of Cub fans hoping that KB can get back. Here's Reggie Sharp, who homered to the first. Dominic Kustra on the mound, now for Illinois. Towards short, gonna be a tough play. That'll be a base hit for Sharp, and he's gonna take advantage of the throw. He's around second, and that's as far as he'll get. The way Michigan runs the bases, though, you're never quite sure whether they're gonna stop at the base that's before them.
You better throw ahead and not behind guys, because out of excuse me swing here, just drives it to the shortstop. Duran, realizing the speed of Sharp down the first baseline, looks like he wanted to hold up. Ball got away from him. Because of that, Sharp finds himself now at second base.
Well, whoever plays Michigan down the line has got to be aware of the way that Grosse Pointe Woods Shores runs the bases. And here's Jaron Purify, who runs them as well as anybody.
This guy's impressive at the plate.
Wild pitch, runner headed to third in time. So after the first out recorded on a ground ball by J.J. Scheck, Reggie Sharp is already at third base. 2 hits in the game for Jaron Purify. Mile high fly ball right field. Runner at third tagging won't be a problem. Michigan has made up its 2 runs they gave up in the third. It's now 6-2. Even when Purify is out, he makes it exciting because that thing was up a mile in the air.
You know what? And if he drops it out in right field, there's a chance Purify can come around and score on that, because he was almost at third base.
Oliver Service at the plate, walked and struck out. 6-inning game. So Illinois down now to its last 6 outs when it bats in the 5th. Border War tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, Indiana and Kentucky. The 4th of our 4 games today. We'll have 4 more for you tomorrow. This modified double elimination, then 4 more on Tuesday. Then we get to Wednesday's play, just a couple of games. And on Thursday, it is single elimination all the way to our championship games for both Great Lakes and Midwest. To this point, John, none of our games have been close. 4-1, 15-1, 6-2.
Yeah. And last year, when we look back at it, boy, we had some great weather and we had tremendous baseball, really close ball games.
I think we had a run of 3 or 4 straight walk-off games.
Yes.
And that Indiana-Kentucky game of last year when they met was 1-0. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Oliver Service gets turned around.
Well, they do not get cheated at the plate.
No. Oliver very talented and can play 6 different spots on the diamond. "13 years of age on July 22nd. And he looks like Mookie Wilson back in the '86 World Series, dodging the wild pitch that tied it up for the Mets. I shouldn't bring that up. It was your Red Sox. But,
No, stop.
Sorry. From 0-2 to 3-2. A run in, 2 outs in the 4th.
Return that to a ball to the nearest dugout. Thank you.
Do you think they ever returned that home run ball?
The one we were showing, the deception out there in the one playing field? I don't know.
Maybe that was a bigger brother or somebody going to get home run ball and to keep it.
Yep. We got it, Coach. Let's go, Tyler.
Oliver Service set to step back in. Count is 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. 6-2 Michigan. The great Bob Ufer, who described Michigan football on radio for years, used to refer to Wolverines as Michigan.
Yeah, I heard that. Did you see Service on that? He fouled the ball off. He end of the bat, brushed in the end of the bat, telling the home plate umpire, hey, I got a piece of that one.
Yes, sir. Got to sell it sometimes. Good at bat for him, by the way.
He battled.
On base for the 2nd time today by way of walks.
Michigan center
Now Ryan
fielder,
Knable, who
number
started
0,
on the mound
Ryan
today for
Knable.
Michigan. RBI groundout, has doubled and scored. Michigan has left 3 on base. Illinois has left 8, and those 8 were left on in the first 3 innings. Going the opposite way down the right field line. Fair! Now to throw down the second. Got to be careful off the bobble there because the runner at third can scamper home. So it's a single for Ryan Knable. Give him second on the throw from right field. Oliver Service is at third with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Or they're lucky they didn't give up a run there as that ball goes into right field, lands in the perfect spot there, and Garrettson decides he's going to throw behind the runner here. We've seen Michigan take the extra base as he goes to third. It's fortunate he didn't turn to go home, the runner.
If you're Illinois, do you need to pitch around Brennan Hill here?
Well, you got the bag open down there. It may not be a bad idea.
And they have nothing close to the strike zone yet on 2-0. Preston Barr would bat next. Hill already has a 2-run homer that he cranked in the first and an RBI flyout for his 3 runs batted in, and that's 3-0. And I think right now Illinois is smart not to have a piece of Hill, because Hill likely has a green light here with his team up 4. Instead, 4 pitches outside the zone. That's a intentional walk,
you
probably.
You got that right.
And a smart move. The bases are loaded now. Preston Barr is the scheduled hitter, and Barr will hit.
Not sure what they're going to do here. Is this just a talk? With 2 outs here, how we want to go after this hitter. Don't think they're going to make the change at the total amount of, they're going to make a switch. I was thinking maybe that's the case because at 24 pitches, he started that hitter before 20, so he wants him to only sit 1 day. So Kuster's able to come back after, or he's able to come back and throw tomorrow.
So Matt Bubala makes a change right now. His team down 6-2. And for Illinois, down the mound, number 7, Cameron King.
Cameron King, you see 5'5", 125, another guy in there we didn't necessarily talk to them about today, but we always ask the question. We may see a lot of guys. What does he bring to the mound out there? And another guy that supposedly is a guy that can throw strikes for you, not going to overpower you, but a guy that can get people out. So big situation for him to come in here, bases loaded with 2 outs.
Paulie Rudolph now, John, becomes the third baseman. Dominic Kuster back to first. Cameron King the pitch. Preston Barr on base twice today, had a walk and an error. Already a run in. Grosse Pointe Woods Shores opportunity to bust this game open here in the 4th inning. Leading 6-2 with 4 in the first, 1 in the second, make that 1 in the third, and 1 in the 4th. Preston batting in the number 6 position. Towards short, slow roller. Throw on the first, not in time. Barr beat it. 7-2 in favor of Michigan.
Barr with some good speed down the first base line. Duran did everything he could from a shortstop position here to be able to cut this ball off and make the throw to first base. He even fielded it pretty cleanly with Knebel right in his front of him, running right in front of him, but not able to get Barr down the line.
Now Cameron Schaefer at the plate. With the bases loaded, 7-2 Michigan. In the two previous games today, played in the Midwest, the team that scored first has won. Inning over. Michigan, though, gets a couple. Illinois in the top of the fifth inning will have the middle of its lineup up with work to do. In the first inning today, this game may have been decided when Reggie Sharp went deep to left center field to make it 1-0, and moments later, Brennan Hill went deep to play 2. It was 4-0 at that point. Illinois had plenty of scoring opportunities and got an RBI hit from Cameron King and one from Ozzie Zaja, which actually in that point made it 4-2, but right now it is 7-2. As Bradley Lude is at the plate for Tri-Cities of the Illinois State Champions. Going the opposite way there, and that will reach the outside of the stadium. Illinois' location of West Dundee was founded in 1835. It's a lottery winner from Scotland who named it after one of his favorite Scottish towns.
Nice. Little Lude. Little nickname I heard in the stands. Someone's Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a bunch of them.
Plays a saxophone, by the way. Takes a called third there, 1 out in the Illinois fifth. And for Michigan pitchers, after a rough start,
Number 7, Cameron
have now
King.
retired the last 6. And have done so with 4 strikeouts. Make that 5. So manager Kurt Barr has found the right combination at the mound. The right pitcher in Cameron Schaefer as he faces now Cameron King.
It was interesting. They went with power pitchers early. They were getting a lot of walks, and then they bring in Schaefer, who is a guy that we said not going to get you out with the fastball, not going to strike out often with the fastball, but can get you with the breaking ball, and he's been really good with that curveball.
Yes, the hardest he throws is the mid-60s.
Yep, and there's another example right there.
2 strikes, 2 balls, 1 out. Towards short on 1 hop. Out by a step on the throw from Preston Barr. 2 outs for Gage Martin.
Not an easy play for Barr over at the shortstop position. That ball took a big hop as he was able to glove at it. Take a look at this. This ball takes a big hop.
Second baseman, number 5.
Able to get it, gather, and make a nice throw over to first for the out.
It's up to Gage Martin to keep the Illinois 5th going, John. It's grounded out and walked. Down to third base on 1 hop. Jerem Purify. It's a 1-2-3 inning again for Cameron Schaefer. On to the Michigan 5th. It remains 7-2. Grosse Pointe Woods Shore. Our formats here in the Midwest Regional, along with the Great Lakes Regional, reflects double elimination modified, meaning we start with 6 teams, we finish with 4 by the time we get to single elimination on Thursday. Pool play was quite active, John, just a few years back. I always thought, too, at that point, the tiebreakers sometimes got in the way.
Leading off the bottom of the 5th for Michigan, the right fielder.
Now the important thing is, game 1, regardless, you want to get that victory.
Yeah,
get
right.
out to a good start. Never good playing, out of that loser's bracket.
Maisie, base hit center field, jumps on the first pitch. So Chase Maisie is aboard. And struck out back in the second. By the way, if Michigan hangs on, it'll face Wisconsin tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 Central. And if this holds up, Illinois will wait till Tuesday to play again in the losers bracket.
For Michigan, number 2, Ryan Henderson.
So now Ryan Henderson gets a chance to bat. Coach Melissa Henderson's son. Michigan getting a chance to get everybody involved here. And if Michigan does hang on, it'll be our 3rd consecutive game out of 3 in which the team that scored first has won. Headed towards center field. Instead, it's going to be a double play ball. Gavin Duran stepped on second, threw to first. Well done, 2 outs.
Nicely done, right up the middle. Comes up with it. If you can field it and do it yourself, that's a good example. You step on the bag, make a good throw over to first base for the 2nd out.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Reggie Sharp at the plate. Put his team ahead, if it holds, for good, back in the first with a home run. Kurt Barr, the manager, third base coach. He's at third. Reggie Sharp, Reggie's dad, coaching at first. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Looking ahead to the Illinois 6th, bottom of the order, the 8 and 9 hitters, and to have a chance, going to have to bat a whole lot more at the top. Well, we mentioned earlier, it was Purify with that big 3-run homer and that 4-run rally in the 6th inning in the state tournament. Kept Michigan alive, down 4-0 with just 2 outs remaining, then came back to win it in extra innings. Bounce toward third, that's a fair ball. Safe. Reggie Sharp beats it out. He's got his 3rd hit of the game.
Wow, that's what's going to make this team so hard to beat. That's a routine ground ball for most Little Leaguers, but Sharp's ability to get down the line right there, you can see him beat it out.
Illinois will challenge the call to first base, which is safe.
And I think it's a really good challenge, especially at this point. You've got nothing to lose.
Can't take the challenges with you.
Nope.
And typically the beauty of Little League, both baseball and softball, is the replays typically are decided upon quickly. While the music of Jeopardy plays in the background. Usually it's not decided in the 30 seconds that Alex Trebek gives you a chance to answer the final Jeopardy question.
Well, I was wrong on the first one. I'm going to guess again here, and I'm going to say safe. They're going to stay with this call. They stayed with their first one and didn't overturn it.
Thank you.
Final answer.
Safe on this end, and it will stand. Nicely done, John. So Reggie Sharp remains at first base with his 3rd hit of the game. And here comes one of the more electrifying players that you'll see in this tournament, Jaron Purify.
Third baseman, number 6, Jaron Purify.
Whose motto is "We, not me." Gotta like that. Also have to like the fact that if he got a chance to travel anywhere, Disney World will be his first choice.
All right.
A comebacker. In the 6th inning, Illinois needs 5 to stay alive. End of 5, Michigan ahead 7-2. Mm-hmm.
I love those old pictures.
You want to write down for me? Name. And what position? Okay.
We got a new pitcher.
Chase Mazie.
Anything else? Who else?
Little League Grow the Game Grant Initiative has distributed over $2 million at the local level. Grant funding provides local Little Leagues resources for general improvement and to expand or establish softball challenger division and urban initiative programs. For more info, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. Young and old have enjoyed Williamsport, PA. And the winners from the Great Lakes and Midwest will do as well here in 2018. Jim Barber and John Gregory, we may be on to wrap this game up. Illinois' Ozzie Zaja will lead off. and an RBI single in the third.
Changes for Michigan.
And he will
Taking over
face
on the mound,
Chase
number 10,
Mazie now on the mound. Cannot underscore the job that Cameron Schaefer did in relief for Grosse Pointe Woods Shores.
And number 9, Cameron Schaefer,
Came
now
in
playing first
time he
base.
needed it, shut the guys down, got some big outs on some strikeouts with that breaking ball.
Cameron Schaefer moves to first. Brennan Hill now to right. And you think about the outs that he got that you mentioned, it came with a lot of base runners for Illinois in the first 3 innings. Looked as if Illinois would match Michigan's long ball with a plethora of infield hits, a couple of timely hits to the outfield, and lots of walks. Right now the job is simple, although difficult. Get base runners, as many as you can.
Well, and that's a great way to start.
And that's the first base runner Illinois has had since the 3rd inning.
You mentioned at the top how they were going to be patient at the plate at the beginning of this ball game, make the guys on the mound work. Well, they did early in this game, had some success. It didn't turn into runs, but right now, getting a guy on here early, one way to stay in this ball game.
Michael Bubala at the plate. Not only plays baseball, also volleyball, and runs cross country. Headed toward left field, snagged by the third baseman Purify, who got one. Almost got a second play. Good play, though, by Jaron Purify at third to get the lead runner.
Purify with a smooth play down at third base, but how about the turn by Sharp at second base? Thought there was no chance to get Bubala down the line. Purify gets to it, flicks it over there, but Sharp with a quick turn almost gets the runner down to first base bag.
Yeah, and it didn't look the way it was hit, John, that they'd even have a chance at 2.
No.
Shane Young, the scheduled batter, 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts, hit by a batter. Going to be a challenge right now in the play. And I believe the challenge is at first base, seeing as if maybe it was a double play.
Michigan is challenging safe call at first.
Nope.
But I don't think so.
Nope. This shouldn't take long at all, but I'm going to guess again and say safe. That will give me 2 for 3 on the day.
No, you're hot right now.
Trying to get the average
that
up.
Would be moving from 500 to 666 if you're registering these things at home.
Yeah.
That was quick. Well, John, lucky guess. I mean, lucky assessment there.
27, Shane Young.
Leadoff hitter Shane Young to bat for the 4th time today. Illinois down to its last 2 outs. The winner comes back at 10 a.m. tomorrow. The loser gets the day off and returns on Tuesday.
That doesn't seem fair.
Plays for its life. Not the 10 a.m. part anyway.
Winner comes back early, loser gets to get the day off.
And the idea of not bringing the losers playing back-to-back games, as you know, is not to eliminate them quickly from a tournament.
I like the rule.
I do too. But you might be questioning the quick return for the winner, right?
Hey, you know what, though? If you're hot, get back out on the field and play. That's like when you're hitting in the cage, taking batting practice. If you're hitting the ball really good, your first few swings in the cage are good, get out.
I agree. And these kids are used to playing at all times of the day and night.
Yep.
Number of games in Little League competition in districts and state delayed by rain, so some games didn't finish up until close to midnight.
And for them, it is a game.
Michigan now and out away. Chase Mazie trying to get the save here.
Take a look at this fastball up high. Didn't look like that was a breaking ball, but whatever it was, got in the face and a swing and a miss for the out.
Michigan has used 4 pitchers today and have allowed a combined 2 runs. So the coaching staff that explained to us prior to the game, we are deep. But the pitchers backed that up today with the use of 4. And really, Mr. Knabel, Mr. Hill struggled a bit. Then on to Cameron Schaefer, who did well. And now Mr. Mazie trying to end the game. He is a strike away.
And that bodes well for your pitching staff if you're thinking about your 1-2 guys or guys that you're going to throw early in this first ball game to try to make sure you secure that first victory. Aren't performing to their best, that you've got other guys that can come in and get it done.
Gavin Duran lays off the high fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Paulie Rudolph, the number 3 hitter, hoping for a chance.
How about Jake Martin behind the plate? Not letting that runner advance, getting in front of it.
Even with a 7-2 lead, it's still important. Game 1 of the Great Lakes Regional. 2 already in the books in the Midwest. 4 more tomorrow and 4 on Tuesday. Chase Mazie trying to get the final out. Game over. On for the save. He strikes out 2 in the 6th. And Michigan with a very impressive first game wins over Illinois 7-2.
Now you mentioned took 4 guys out on the mound to get it done for them, and they put 10 runs or 7 runs on the board with 10 hits, so they can move on the base pass. They look like a very dangerous team. If they can get that starting pitch and throwing strikes, then I can look for this team to go deep. But for Illinois, same thing. They're going to have to fight their way back on the losers bracket side of things, but it can be done, as we've also seen that too.
So our standings to this point, John, in the Great Lakes reflects just 1 game played. Michigan at the top, Illinois at the bottom. Still 4 teams to play. And in fact, we'll be looking for 4 teams out of the 6 that will advance to single elimination on Thursday. So that's it. Here from Hamilton County, Westfield, Indiana, and Grand Park. It's a beautiful stadium. In game 3 of the 4 we've had so far today, Michigan 7, Illinois 2. Come on back at 8 Eastern tonight, 7 Central. Border War. Indiana, Kentucky. Need we say more?